Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Day. I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 2, episode 2 of Fringe, obviously. I am so stoked to watch this episode and a little sad after the events of last episode. We kind of really just hit the ground running with this season, and they made us think Olivia was dead. They introduced a new agent, Amy Jessup, aka Meghan Markle. They took Charlie away from us, but nobody knows that they took Charlie away from us. So the audience is sad and we can mourn, but unfortunately the characters are being tricked by an imposter, so they don't get that opportunity to be sad and mourn. We have the ramifications of William Bell and Olivia's conversation from last season, which we still do not know the context of, or what happened in that conversation. We have the ramifications of the fact that we, the audience, again, now know something the characters don't know, and the fact that we know that Walter took other Walter's Peter. There's, all that stuff. We have we just have a lot, you guys. We have a lot, and I'm going to stop rambling about it, and we are going to get right into it. Let's just watch this episode right now.
Still no information on the disappearance of 6 Landale residents.
Okay, so 6 residents of this town disappeared.
Up next, to keep you company on the way home.
There's a supernatural episode with a scarecrow like that. That scarecrow moved. That's a dead body. It was a different scarecrow. I was wrong the first time, but is that fingers? Excuse me. What? Is that someone reached out from under the ground and grabbed him?
I'm no good at sitting around.
You're also no good at letting people help you.
Well, I'll let you carry my suitcase.
Somebody, is Charlie watching her? Mm-hmm. Oh, is this the guy? What happened to his leg? Dead body. What is that? She was
He thinks you
talking to William
traveled to
Bell.
another universe.
Yep. He's right.
I know that I went somewhere. I think I met with someone.
William Bell.
I just can't quite remember.
Perhaps you will. In time. When they said you were dead.
You were
When
saying?
I saw you lying there. I don't know what I would have done.
They always be doing this. They hit me with the feels.
You appear to be fine.
I appear to be?
No. Traveling to an alternate reality has its consequences. No. No, you'll be fine.
That's, worrisome.
Be damned if I know what to make of it.
Well, we're all victims of our own gene pool. Someone must have peed in yours.
Wonderful. Have you run across something like this before?
Absolutely not. The air here is quite auspicious. Fresh misty. Pregnant with possibilities. Who knows where it may lead.
You get so excited.
Agent Dunham, the FBI has very specific laws that govern what their jurisdiction involves. There's information in
I
these
understand,
files.
but I can get a special procedural order to...
Why are you so interested in this case?
Damn, her hearing is great.
I'm sorry,
Night of desirable objects? I have one just like this.
You know yourself a little bit about night fishing, do you?
I've used hair jigs in Port Rind, rubber jigs for largemouth.
She's still adjusting to being back in this universe.
I'll be with you in just a minute.
I need the back room.
He's gonna go back and talk to whoever that was again. How long can he stay in, like, somebody's body before he, like, I don't know, degrades or something like that? Because he seems like he's struggling, you know?
According to the sheriff, the second person who disappeared, his mom makes a mean apple pie.
In case you were wondering, Andre Hughes is partial to flannel.
Walter, it's getting on you.
How's it going, Walter?
What?
I plan to urinate in 23 minutes.
Good to know.
I'm telling you because I'm going to need help unzipping my fly. I can't feel my hand. It seems the substance from Pennsylvania is a paralytic.
What? It could have been more dangerous than that.
Hey, you remember Andre Hughes?
Yeah, Hughes. He was the flannel guy, right?
Yeah, well, he's a neighbor of the Shanes, and he was at their house when the sheriff went to follow up on their son's disappearance. He was also at the Thomasons just after Jennifer Thomason disappeared.
A connection?
Oh, hell.
Okay, that's somebody who's cleaning up after whoever's doing this. Wonder if it's...
Oh, hell. Who are you?
I'm Mr. Hughes. Olivia Dunham, this is Peter Bishop.
He was the guy that was burying the body.
This is my fifth well in 2 months. Can't seem to find that sweet spot.
She hears breathing. What? What was that?
Excuse me,
That wasn't him.
is there someone else in this house?
No.
She hears the breathing. He's got his own little lab.
Come out of there. Oh, Peter! Oh my God! Peter! Oh my God! I'm so sorry. I thought I heard something.
You heard Peter? Well, she heard something else too, but like, be careful.
According to our records, in the wake of the disappearances, you visited with some of the victims' relatives. Martin Shane's mother and Jennifer
Thomason's husband. Were they former patients?
No. I hardly knew either of them, but I thought I could help them. I thought I could comfort them.
Why?
I lost my wife and my son 17 years ago.
Okay.
She died, giving birth to him. For 5 minutes, I had a son.
Is it his son down in the tunnels?
Mr. Hughes would like to take a sample of your blood.
We'd like to compare it to some evidence that we found at the scene of the last disappearance. Do we have your permission to do that?
Am I under arrest?
Not presently.
Then no.
So it could be his son, because he thinks it's gonna match.
It says in her report Dunham's gun went off.
Yeah. Misfire.
It's kind of dangerous to cover for her in that moment, Peter. You almost died.
You've been through quite an ordeal, Olivia. One of many lately. To overlook it would be a mistake.
Did she just write a prescription? You're not a doctor.
Sam Weiss, the man who helped put me back together.
Okay.
The FBI has psychologists.
Not like this one.
He's not a psychologist.
Who is he?
When you're ready, I believe he can help you.
Who is he? Is this the same house from the episode of X-Files? Same field and house? It looks similar.
That was Olivia. Agent Jessup had told her Hughes may have killed his wife and child 17 years ago.
Finally, some good news. I assume we can dig them up.
All right. I'll get an exhumation order.
Oh, okay. I thought she was joking, but she was being serious. I think at least the baby's not going to be there because I think that it could be the little boy. What you doing? What the fuck is he doing?
Hughes is hiding something. We're gonna find out what it is.
Alright, fucking stop. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes my teeth hurt. She's there. The baby's not gonna be there. That's my hypothesis. Empty, right?
Oh my god.
Looks like something dug its way in.
Or dug its way out.
Fuck. So he did die, but that is him, right?
I think we have some questions for Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of fucking questions. He's done, yeah. I feel like they should have cameras in these places or like people that go and check because it had to have taken him some amount of time to do that, you know?
Systemic lupus erythematosus. A very advanced case. Notably, she was incapable of producing offspring.
Except she did. She had a baby boy.
Yeah.
Baby boy. The grave of a boy. Who is not in his grave.
Already on its way.
Hey, Jim, it's Alex. Yeah, I know I'm late. Yeah, I'm leaving right now, all right? Yeah, I understand. Right now.
Agent Dunham?
She has really good hearing these days.
Hey, what did I miss?
Hughes's baby. He altered it inside the womb so that it could survive its mother's lupus.
Okay, that is sick.
That is brilliant. He's created a super baby.
Yeah, but now it kills people.
When we were at the Hughes' house, I heard a noise, like something breathing. I thought that I had imagined it, but I didn't. So if Hughes' son is still alive, I think that he is somewhere in that house.
Under
In
it.
that house.
Or under it.
Dude, you need to leave. Now is not the time to be noticing, okay? Leave, 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 leave. Why are you not leaving? Why would you see that in the ground and not leave? I would leave. I would leave.
Hey.
I think it's a canine tooth.
Ugh. Is he burying them in the house? Or is it just a way for the sun to get in?
Confirmed.
It was a duck. Olivia, you gotta be careful, girl. I saw a boot. Oh, that's the sheriff. Is it Peter?
Peter?
Behind her?
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody else behind her. Oh! What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the fucking hell? Ah. Ah. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Stab. I don't know. Ugh. It just looks like a giant baby. Oh, okay.
Are you going fishing, son?
Yes, but not alone.
Oh, no. Who with?
You?
Once upon a time, there was a young man who got it in his head that he wanted to take his father fishing. He saved up all the money from his paper route and bought a very special lure. It's called the Night of Desirable Objects. Sadly, his father was never really all that available to him, so what started out as a would-be bonding experience ended up with a young man fishing alone in a boat.
And this young man gave this to you.
No, he was him.
Yes, Walter.
Can I come? With you and your friend?
You know what, Walter? I think that would make the trip.
I love it. I love their bonding. I don't know why that scared me. Samwise? Is that him?
I'm looking for Sam Weiss.
Sam? No.
Well, do you know where I could find him?
Atlanta, Georgia. He met a girl, moved away.
Thank you.
That's it? You're giving up?
It is him.
I tell you he met a girl and moved away and you're just gonna give up?
You're Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Have the headaches started yet?
No.
They will.
They will. What are you, size 8?
How does he know? Who is he? Please advise. Okay, so he hasn't gotten any response yet. Okay. Maker? All right. So, the first thing I want to say about this episode kind of has to do with the episode, but it felt very X-Files. Like, even, and I said it in the reaction, the house looked like the episode, looked like the house in that episode of X-Files with, like, the family that was, you know, keeping things in the family, if you know what I'm saying. You know what episode it is. If you've seen it, you know. That episode. I think it's in season 4. I'll try to look it up and like put the house on screen. But was this filmed in the same location? Because it looked very similar. And this episode also had very X-Files vibes. Like the design of the baby scorpion mole thing as an adult, like it just looked like a giant baby. It was weird. It was I don't know. I don't know how to describe it other than this episode was the most X-Files episode of Fringe that I've seen thus far. And that's not a bad thing. Like, I love Fringe and I love X-Files. Like, I think, you know, I need to learn how to talk. I think in a large... I think that in a very real sense, like, Fringe would not exist without X-Files, which would not exist without, you know, Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like, I think that every sort of iteration of science fiction that has come before influences and helps the next iteration of science fiction that comes after. You know what I mean? I don't know, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not explaining things very well, but yeah, this episode just felt very X-Files. Anyway, that is, again, like I said, that's completely beside the point. But I just felt like mentioning that this episode, I feel like it's the same location, and that also aided in the fact that it felt very X-Files, and that could have been a very purposeful thing on the part of Fringe. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, so let's actually talk about this episode. Hopefully I can be a little bit articulate. Something that I think is very interesting and worth discussing and talking about is the fact that Olivia is having side effects, I guess you would say, of visiting William Bell in the alternate universe. And so far, her side effects have just been like super hearing, you know? She heard the baby thing breathing underground. She heard the little fly like rubbing its little legs together. She heard the guy on the phone like way over there. She, in her apartment, is sitting there and she's hearing like everybody from next door and above her maybe, and like she's just hearing everybody around the neighborhood and more bugs. It's just, she's dealing with a lot of sensory overload, I think, because obviously she almost shot Peter, which, you know, not a great situation. I like that Peter covered for her and placed the trust in her that she was going to open up to him when she was ready, and that she was going to take the steps necessary in order to heal. I'm still not sure that, like, he shouldn't have told Broyles, but I think he also knew that Broyles would probably force Olivia to go see, like, the FBI therapist, and then he would force her to take, like, a certain amount of leave, and that would not really help Olivia so much as hinder her. So I think that he made the right choice, but he's really putting a lot of faith and trust in her, and he's literally putting his life in her hands, and it stresses me out a little bit. But so far, her her sensory overload and her sensitivity to sound, which is kind of the first hint that we've seen of coming back from an alternate universe. And Sam Weiss, who Nina Sharp told her to go see Sam Weiss, and he works at a bowling alley. He seems to know something about this. He asked if the headaches had started. He said that they would. I'm wondering if this is going to be like the whole you get a headache and you kind of like get an insight like into the future kind of thing. I know it's science fiction, but I don't know. In a lot, in Charmed and in Supernatural and in certain things that I've seen with people who have a psychic sort of ability, is that it comes with headaches. So I just, based off of my past experience with that, I'm wondering if the headaches are going to have anything to do with her being able to perceive things on a different level than other people. I mean, she already can use more of her brain power, right? Because she took the Cortexiphan when she was a kid. So instead of the limiting of brain power, hers was expanded, or it just wasn't as limited as everyone else's, right? I don't think my brain's working. Also, this is another random side note, but I've been playing a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, I've been playing it for months and months, but I took a break because I was close to the end and I didn't want to finish it. Anyway, that's beside the point. But there's a character in Horizon Zero Dawn, Silence, that is Broyles, Lance Reddick? I don't know. Anyway, he's the voice of Silence. And it's funny because when I first started playing Horizon Zero Dawn in like May, I think, I don't remember, but it was quite a few months ago. I had not yet watched Fringe, and so his character was introduced, and I didn't, know that he was Broyles. And then now going back and playing again and hearing him and seeing him, it's fun. Also, you should play Horizon Zero Dawn because it's a really good game. Anyway, that's completely beside the point, but I felt like I had to mention it because like, you guys are my Fringe people, and I can't tell anybody else because I don't talk about Fringe to anybody else, except for I did get my mom to start watching it, so maybe her, but yeah, it was just exciting for me. Sorry guys, I had to turn the computer off because it was being really loud. But something else that I want to talk about in this episode, which actually has to do with this episode, is that we learned a little bit more about, or we sort of delved more into the fact that Olivia cannot remember her time in the alternate dimension. Now, is this a side effect of traveling between dimensions? Because if so, that could explain why Peter doesn't remember his life before in the other dimension. Because I think we established he would have been about 7 when Walter brought him over, right? And I don't think, talk about this in the last episode or the last episode, whatever episode it was, that we kind of got confirmation that that's what happened. But maybe I did, and I just can't remember. But his mother, like in the last episode, Peter said his mom told him to be a better man than your father, right? When he was older. And I wonder if she said that in part because she knows the truth of what Walter did. Like, she has to know. She had to have mourned her son and then got another one that was very similar to him but slightly different, right? Like, that's a very interesting dynamic that I would love to see, and I hope that at some point that they do portray it on screen, to see a conversation between her and Walter, and maybe even all three of them when the truth comes out, because I imagine that for her, that was very hard. She had a child and she loved this child and she raised him and he was everything to her, assumedly, and she lost him and she had to mourn that. But then Walter, again, we don't know the exact timeline of how long Peter was gone before Walter got the other Peter, but he went somewhere. Like, she lost her husband too, in a way, right? Because he went a little bit mad. Like, we don't know how Walter acted before Peter died. Not really. We've only ever been presented with the Walter that we know now. So, presumably she could have also lost a large part of her husband, and then he brings back this son who is her son, but it also is not her son because she hasn't experienced all of the things with him that she did with her son. And I'm sure, you know, she loves him and she continued to raise him and create experiences and memories with him as well. But it can't be the same, right? Like if somebody you loved passed, like assuming that alternate universes, different versions of us are real, like someone you love passes away and you get to have them back. God, sorry, this is really getting me. But you get to have them back, but it's not them, you know? It's a version of them, and I'm sure that you would love this version of them. Sorry, you guys. It affects me, but it wouldn't be that person, you know? Like it wouldn't be them. So that would be hard too, because she's going to be stuck with this version of her son who looks like her son and sounds like her son and for all intents and purposes is her son, but they don't have the shared history. And she has to like mourn for her son, but also love and raise this boy who is her son, but also isn't. Like, God, what a fucking, what a task Walter gave to her, and bless her for whatever form of love and compassion that she could show to Peter. He doesn't seem to be too upset by her, you know? So, and it's so hard too, because it is conflicting, because I love Walter and I understand fully why he would do what he did, you know? Sorry, guys. Sorry that it gets me so much, but like, I do not have children. I cannot fathom having a child that you love so much and losing them. But I have people in my life that I love so much, and that if I knew of an alternate universe, like I can understand the desire to do that. But at some point, I feel like we have to meet the other Walter at some point. You know, if he's a villain, I could not blame him. But yeah, it's just interesting because I really love this Walter and I love this Peter and I love their dynamic. I love their relationship. This episode got me again because Peter just is really trying to build that relationship with Walter, to really have the experiences that they weren't able to have. And I do wonder if, as much as Walter loves this Peter, he did find it difficult to connect with him because of the subtle differences, because of the fact that it is his son, but it's not in the ways that I already mentioned and won't, you know, go over again. But now with, you know, time and distance, because he had 17 years where he didn't get to see any version of Peter, and now he's meeting him again as a grown up, as an adult, as a man, and he is getting a third chance really at having that relationship with his son, and he is so grateful for it, and he's just taking it, and God, I love it. I just love it, and it means a lot to me. And to go off of that, Walter's scene with Olivia also got me because he cares for her so much, and he was so upset when he thought she was gone. And I thought it was really interesting because he said, I don't know what I would have done. But that's not true. Because we know the extent that Walter will go to save someone he loves. And he might have gone to that extent again if he had had to. You know? of course, throughout all of this, we also have not Charlie, who is or was awaiting orders, and then he got his orders, and they are to help Olivia excuse me, remember what happened in the other world. And you guys, I just feel bad because Olivia cannot actually mourn her friend Charlie because she doesn't know that he's gone, and she's sitting here talking to him and it's not him and he's gone. And also, like, what's going to happen with his wife? Hopefully this guy who's not him doesn't kill her, but also hopefully he doesn't, like, pretend to be Charlie because that's not consent, you know? But also, how can he not? Because that would be suspicious. So I don't know what's going to go on there or how long this ruse is going to last. I don't know, and I'm sure I've talked about this before, who he's getting his orders from or where. I assume someone on the other side, as he said. It's a mystery, and I don't know. I can't really fathom a guess right now because the mirror has something to do with it, right? The mirror can see between worlds. Like, I don't really understand how that back room operates or works. Maybe it's in a soft spot. We don't know. Well, I don't know. You guys probably know. I didn't really talk too much about the whole premise of this episode, aside from the fact that it was very X-Files and kind of design and location, possibly. It's like, I don't know how to feel about the guy whose son, the son, right, was not fully human, not fully cognizant and aware of what was happening. Like, the level of intelligent life that existed within him is unknown. So he could have just been acting on pure animal instinct. He could have been, I can't really place a value judgment or know what to think about him because I don't know to what level he has full awareness of being human and what that entails. The father that used to be a doctor who got his wife to be pregnant via scorpion DNA and badger, whatever, mole DNA, something, we don't know the other DNA. I would like to know the level of consent that his wife gave to that. I would like to know why adoption was not an option. I would like to know why, just using someone else's, womb wasn't an option. I would just like to know why they didn't exhaust every option before monster baby. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big leap to go from just like, we could adopt a child that needs a home to like, no, we're gonna have a monster baby. He clearly felt remorse for what he had caused, but not enough remorse to actually like stop it. Although he tried to set traps, like the level of his ability to stop this from happening, again, I don't know. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. I don't think I fully understood his reasoning or his motivation Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all that I really have to say about this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon, which will be linked in the description down below, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every episode that I have watched thus far of Fringe, also linked down below. I don't know where we're going next, but I'm excited, apprehensive, and nervous to get there. So, until next time. Bye, guys.